A TikToker who bears a striking resemblance to Chappell Roan has recently gone viral while she was complaining about how men don't approach her or hit on her or even catcall her in public. And I think this has been a recurring subject on this show for the past couple of weeks in particular. I've seen a lot of content of women complaining about how men are not showing them enough attention. And a lot of the discourse is just about, you know, what caused this, and men saying this is to blame for the Me Too movement and society caused this problem and now you can deal with the consequences, ladies. You know, you shamed men out of showing interest in women in public and now this is what happens. So this was her video.
Here we go.
Tell me why every day I go out looking adorable, tits bouncing, skin glistening, and yet nobody ever hits on me or approaches me. Ever. Oh my God, like please. I'll take a fucking construction worker catcall at this point. Please.
She's too good at talking to a camera.
So
She enunciates phrases. It just says that she spends all her time talking to her phone, posting TikToks.
even after catcalling was one of the favorite pet issues of pop feminism in the 2010s for years. Women were scaremongering about catcalling and how this is a tactic of fear that is weaponized against women by men who are trying to, you know, impose a power dynamic on them.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've done the full horseshoe, and we're right back at catcalling is not only okay, but preferable.
Wait, so women were saying that catcalling was a tactic of fear to keep them in line?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I even posted one of the original PSA videos that was made by a feminist about catcalling in New York City.
I think we talked about that at one point.
We did, like a matter of months ago. And now it isn't a fear tactic anymore. It's not a tool of oppression or the patriarchy anymore. And now we want that.
Yep.
My question about it was just that, you know, do the men catcalling women think that they're going to have a high success rate with that? Because it's clearly never going to lead to a woman like giving you her number.
It's
or
like
whatever,
what's the joke? It's like a dog chasing cars. They wouldn't know what to do if they got it.
Yeah.
So it's like you catcall, and then she says, "Oh, can I get your number?" And then he's like, "What?"
Well, aside from the question of catcalling, we are in a drought for meet cutes these days, and there's no one even starting a conversation with a stranger in public now. Brian Atlas of the Whatever podcast posted this video saying, "A lot of women told us not to approach in public or we would be called a creep. Society told us to stop." So would you agree with that perspective?
Yeah, I would. I think once it makes it to Gillette ads, and guys are, was it Gillette?
It was a Gillette
where the
ad.
guy goes, "Whoa!"
Yeah, like the white guy is like catcalling the woman, and then the black guy like stops him from following her or something.
When it reaches that level of and plus television shows have been doing this for decades, where, you know, Wolf Whistle, girl gets catcalled on the street, and those men were generally portrayed as creeps, right? I would say that, yeah, I think society told them to stop a long time ago, and it just took forever to catch up.
When did we lose the ability to distinguish between a friendly conversation starting between strangers and screaming at a woman like nice ass? Like, there are obvious distinctions there and degrees to this. Like, yelling something obscene at a woman in public is not the same thing as like saying hello and introducing yourself in a culturally accepted context. I guess we don't have those contexts anymore, and you actually sent this list
Yes, well, there's a lot
all
of
of the places where women have specified men should not approach them.
Well, you know what this is kind of the consequence of? It's the consequence of a few really specific examples getting shared by a bunch of people.
In order to help women understand why men aren't approaching them, I compiled a list of places women said it's not okay to approach them. Here it is. At work, at church, out in public, literally anywhere in public, at malls, coffee shops, libraries, public parks, at restaurants, at retail stores, on buses, public transportation, sidewalks, work-related events, parking lots, at co-working spaces, grocery stores, while she is at her car, in a pub/bar.
Okay.
And that's probably not even an exhaustive list of examples that you could mine from TikTok or Twitter or Instagram, where women primarily complain about these things.
Yep.
But like, I feel like a normal chauvinistic attitude that used to be commonplace in society was that, you know, women feign disinterest and also don't know what they want. That's kind of the whole reason why Baby It's Cold Outside is such a beloved song, because, you know, women say no performatively sometimes.
But we can't operate under
as
that.
a mating practice.
But we're like, gone are the days where I feel like that was kind of accompanied by in a time period where women were literally thought of as less than men.
I don't think that women were ever thought of as less than men. I think that's a common misconception.
There is, in today's day and age, you're going to take her at her word and you're going to just accept what she's saying as what she believes, and not like, oh, maybe she hasn't thought this through. And they're definitely not going to say something like, well, she doesn't know what she's talking about. She doesn't know what she wants. If a guy doesn't know her, it's not his job to make that assumption about her. He's going to take her first comments, which are go away, and they're going to go away. And that's what people have done.
Yeah, but I just think if you're a man who like wants to be single, go for it, I guess. But if you don't want to be single, this is actually kind of a golden age for rising up to the top, you know? Like, this is a time where having just a tiny fraction of suave will make you an extremely desirable prospect to women.
I suppose,
and this
maybe.
was a comment offered by a couple of different men around this specific video. One man commented, rather than complain about the situation, consider that there has never been a time in history where having even a little bit of agency and confidence would put you in the top 5% of the dating pool. Look at this as an opportunity. And another man commented saying, the truth is a lot of guys are naturally timid and secretly grateful that approaching women has been stigmatized because it gave them a righteous sounding excuse for their own cowardice.
Yeah, I mean, like, television has been telling them that no means no for a long time, and feminism has been telling them that no means no for a long time, and I don't know what the good examples are that have been shared with guys, like, you know, younger guys, right? Like, where no actually means yes, because we see the videos where they're like, I said no, but like, what are they supposed to be like? Is he supposed to keep trying? Because that's not acceptable by today's standards.
Supposed to, like, meaning
like I don't understand what the guys are supposed to do in this situation. Like, everything in society is telling them to not approach women in these specific situations. I don't even know what the situations are where they are. I guess it's dating apps and that's it.
Well, I mean, that's the sad thing, is because people use dating apps. They hate dating apps, but they use them anyway. And it's because it takes any risk and any emotional investment in dating completely out of the equation. And that's why people hate them so much, but it's also the reason why they're being used. So no one is happy with this situation. I'm just saying, if you're unhappy with the state of things, it's probably a better bet to try things the old-fashioned way, and that doesn't mean screaming obscenities at a woman. It just means,
well, okay, so that's only one part of her.
You can start a conversation with someone of the opposite sex in public.
That was only one part of what she said. She also said, like, nobody, like, she wasn't just referring specifically to catcalling. But here's the thing, like, if she's in public walking and looking at her phone, who the hell's approaching her?
Well, I doubt that she's like nonstop recording TikToks when she's out in public.
I just
this
can't
is like
imagine
20 seconds of her life.
I can't imagine a world now where that would be a return to course. Like, we don't live in that world anymore. We don't even live in that world anymore in regards to friendship. where you just walk up to somebody and start a conversation.
No.
So it's going to happen even less in dating because there's a lot less chance of somebody like eschewing you. Like,
But I feel like men are oftentimes more worried about being rejected than they're worried about literally like the risk of
it's not a
reputational destruction.
I don't necessarily believe that it's about that part. I think it's about the general social idea that it's no longer acceptable, meaning that they're not thinking about it in the terms of like, this lady's going to specifically start filming me, naming and shaming, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's that they want to fall in line with what social norms are. And every aspect of society from women has told them that this is no longer acceptable. And they're not going to operate under the general premise that women might not know what they want, because very few people have that level of confidence in their own.
Yes.
Okay, and I don't think that that's any specific person's fault. I think society has done very well to castrate men, philosophically speaking, to make men timid, to show them examples of men being bad, to tell them that what is appropriate for men these days is to not do anything near women unless you're Pedro Pascal and you have anxiety.
Yeah.
But in general, nothing about society tells men to be bold or to be brave. It's discouraged. And a couple examples of women being like, oh crap, I was wrong, isn't going to change the overall social conditioning that took 25, 30 years
Probably
to impart on
longer.
people, probably longer. It's kind of everyone's fault together. It's the feminists' fault. It's the men's fault for not fighting back. But I would put most of this at the feet of feminism.
Right. It's not even just figuratively castrating men, but in a real way, physically castrating them, be it by the LGBT lobby or just the fact that testosterone has actually plummeted in the absolute numbers in young men. Like, young men today have levels of testosterone comparable to elderly males.
I also think, and I can't, like, this is just of my own volition, a thought that I've had, which is like, a lot of it has to do with the fact that everything you do now is recorded. And I don't mean this in the context of like, she's going to start filming you right then. It's that you used to be able to say something. I was watching a bunch of the tributes to Hulk Hogan, and they were talking about somebody, like a good friend of his, who 2 days before he died said, no, he's doing well, he's doing better than we could have expected. And then he died 2 days later, and he had to delete that because that clearly wasn't true. Everything is a form of recording now.
Yeah.
And that causes people, even if not in the moment, to second guess what they're going to do for fear that maybe it won't be recorded, but maybe somebody will then tell some horror story later about their interaction. And no, they might not name them. They might not even know it was them specifically, but he's going to know it. And just that fear of him being an example given, because these things were never shared to large swaths of people. When women had bad dates or they were approached in public by men who were disrespectful to them, that's something they bitched about to their girlfriends over wine on a Friday night.
Yeah.
Not 10,000 people in your follower count.
Yes.
And all of this stuff has it's neutered men's ability to operate confidently. And it's kind of poisoned women against the idea that there are men out there who may approach them in like a polite way.
Yeah, and I actually, before the show, shared an example of that with you. I was at a coffee shop.
Yes, yeah.
And this guy I recognized from church, he was also there. I guess that we both like frequented this coffee shop after mass, but never met, never like introduced ourselves. And it was like a Lifetime movie or something. He like came up to me and he was like, hey, so I got the wrong cappuccino. They gave me like caffeinated instead of
wanted decaf.
So, I mean, would you like to have it instead?
The way you could tell for sure is if you find out later that the other one he got was also caffeinated.
Right.
Then
That
it
would
was
be
a
the tell.
ploy, because he's like,
Yeah.
because let's be real, what guy drinks decaf after
I know, I was
church?
like, decaf?
That was the
Okay,
real
that's
one.
kinda
You're
sus.
like, sorry, bro,
Yeah.
I'm not
That's
meet
crazy.
cuting with a decaf guy. I'm
Never,
sorry, I can't do that.
never. You couldn't catch
Couldn't
me
be
then.
me.
Yeah, but I was like, oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you. And I accepted the coffee from him. He got his coffee, and you know, that was that. That was literally the entire interaction. And I mean, a lot of people would
He's
say,
back
oh,
to the drawing board
he
at
was
home.
clearly making some sort of gesture. He was clearly trying to hit on you or express interest in you. A lot of people would interpret it that way. But I have no reason to think that because there was no follow-up. There was no, you know, I don't know, like, I've seen you at church before. I never introduced myself. My name is Duh.
Yeah,
Like,
if this was a television,
there was nothing like that.
If this was a television show, he would have had a very suave secondary statement that got him in the door of sitting down next to you.
Right, like, not like it would have worked anyway.
Oh,
but
Pastor so-and-so had a good one today, huh? And then now you're sitting there and you're like, how the hell did he get to sitting down?
Right.
And before long,
Yeah.
you're chatting, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, there's the context right there. If you're in an age where you can go to a drive-through and get your coffee, if you're at a coffee shop and you're sitting in one, especially if you're not looking at your phone in a coffee shop, the signal is you are open to social interaction with strangers.
Yeah.
And that is an extremely acceptable context to start a conversation with someone. And if you're interested in a woman that you find attractive, like, that's an acceptable place.
This is the guy's version.
say hello.
This is the more polite version of stealing their salad. You have
Exactly.
you have to buy a second coffee.
No, I mean, I genuinely believe that it was an actual mistake and he was just trying to be nice.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.